Okay, guys, I'm going to be installing an Edelbrock intake on this motorhome in a campsite where you can't work on a car, and it's going to be pretty fun. So let's do it. All right. So first, I got to pull these spark plugs. This pointer actually needs to be timed. Number 1 cylinder I marked over here, but I have a timing on the crankshaft that I'm going to put in time. I'm going to crawl under there and show you guys. So yeah, removing the spark plug wires. Already got my first failure of the project, so I'll have to fix that wire. That's what I get for these cheap wires, United. Don't buy this brand. It's already broke. Alright, let me remove them. Okay, so got the distributor removed. All the spark plug wires gone. And then now it's time to pull the carburetor off. So I use these color zip ties. I took a lot of pictures. I am in the process of deciding if I want to rebuild this Quadrojet or replace it with an Edelbrock. So if you're watching this video, let me know which one you should do. It's about $400 to rebuild this, and the guy has about a 9-week waiting list. And it's pretty easy to come off. A couple bolts, and there she goes. She's off. Excuse me. All right. Okay, the stock manifold. A little dirty on this side because this is the PCV side, I assume. This was leaking. I fixed that. Will be in touch. And just like that, Axelrod hangs up. Winnebago Swan doesn't hear from Axelrod for a year, but he finally gets his remote viewing successful. Okay, a lot of this is going to be off camera. Let me show you what I've done so far. Alright, so the carburetor's off. It's right here. I have the EGR valve off, and then the AC bracket. So there's a little bracket right where that stud is, all the way to there. That has to be removed. EGR's off. I still have the coolant. Then I have like this Home Depot pipe. I don't know if it's factory or aftermarket or what. And then the distributor is going to be last. But as of right now, I'm going to start cleaning up. So I've been scraping this, the flathead, getting all this, trying to just get in there, get the vacuum up so not all this crap goes in the engine when I pull this intake. I'm trying anyways. And I might take this bracket off. Yeah, I probably will do that. And then down there it's pretty grimy. So I do have an extra bracket right here. This one's going to be tricky. Get all this smog crap out of the way. Yeah, this one's going to be tricky because I don't know if it's a stud. Of course it's a stud. So I'll keep going. Alright. Let's vacuum it up. Okay, so there's no access to the crankshaft bolt underneath the motorhome. So I gotta do this a different way. So I marked the dipstick, the transmission dipstick to the rotor. And then I marked the vacuum advance to the breather, the PCV breather. I can't use any of the original intake because that's going away. Aftermarket's going in. So I got to remove this. Not using TDC because I have to pull the damn radiator shroud under it to get to access to the crankshaft bolt. So I'm going to try this method and I'll see if it starts. I also cleaned up more stuff. So the vacuum hoses, the smog equipment, all the smog equipment's going away. So yeah, it's getting closer. Yo, alright, so about to crack the coolant system. I have some good news and bad news. Let me show you on this side. So this pipe I thought was going to be impossible to get off is moving. So that is really good news. The bad news on this intake swap is this bracket. There's no way this bracket could come off from this end. I've looked at it and it would be a lot of work. So I need to come up with a plan to get the bracket off because there's a stud. I might just try to remove the stud and slide the intake off, loosen the bracket. That'd be the best thing. So I'm doing the coolant now. I got a vacuum pump. I got a wet vac. I'm gonna suck all the coolant. I'm trying to do this on the down low. I'm gonna have to cut it. It's thinnest right in the middle, but I don't want to cut it. So we'll see what I can do. Okay, little helper. I got the distributor marked and it's time to pull. I did not mark it down below, so I have the rotor and the case right here. No, that's not it. Right there, yeah. Okay, unzoom. I'm gonna pull this bad boy out.
Generally, frankly,
coming,
if somebody threatens you, more often than not, they don't intend to do something about it. What is more often the case is
you can say,
harassment. You know, there are
it's done.
It's done.
Interested in the subject by continuing to
Okay, today's the other day. I got the intake, other day, and I got the intake off, and the cast iron intake. Alright, I'm clogging up these holes. This is the EGR hole, and the water coolant. Pretty easy, not too hard. I painted the intake, so that's drying. I did run into a problem with this bracket, so I ended up cutting it. Now it doesn't flex or move very much, but I think I'm still gonna weld it on. Yeah, there it is so far. I gotta clean these gaskets, take these old gaskets off. Actually not that bad. this. That's pretty easy. Alright. That wasn't that hard. So I gotta stuff this bad boy in here. Actually, it goes in here. Then I gotta do this gasket. Alright, good news. Okay guys, so I just got done scraping the intake manifold gaskets. These were like 40 years old, so they're really stuck on there. I'll show you what's going on. So I got them really clean. You can see they're like molded in there. I did move my timing mark, so I did trace it with the black mark here. Totally forgot. Ruined it in 5 seconds. So hopefully I'm gonna need to check it. I was gonna check it anyways with the ignition timing. So, alright, the trick is to use WD-40 and one of these cheap, flat, scrape razor blades. And I use one razor blade per side because these are the cheap Home Depot, Walmart ones. The razors are, are not the best. So I'll scrape one razor and then throw it away, and then the other razor, really get it in there with WD-40 for lubricant. And then I'll use a rag and some alcohol to clean the residue, and then I'll use Q-tips for the bolts inside there, so I get all the little dust out. And then I'll use the Q-tips for anything I left behind the flat rocker and the cam. Sometimes it drops through the cam. So that's what I do. And then I'm going to use these gaskets. I've been using these forever. Yeah, you can buy cheaper ones, but I just like this brand when it comes to gaskets. Fel Pro. I mean, they're just legitimate gaskets. I wouldn't use anything else besides OEM, So this is my aftermarket gasket brand for me. And yeah, so far so good. Okay, intake gaskets are in. I'm a silicone guy, so I do not use these rubber things. Just use silicone. I dab it all over so it sticks it on there. I use this stuff for intake gaskets only. Yeah, it looks really clean. Looks good. Ready for the new intake. Okay, so torquing this bad boy in. Look at the color. I think I got it. I mean, I don't know. It's just clean, rusty look. Put a little dust on this. I don't know if anybody will know. Let's hope not. Alright, so how to do this is you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're going to go like this. Then you're going to start from the other side and go all the way to flatten it. Look, I got all the factory accessories in. I had to move the thermostat housing, not the way it looks, but it looks okay. This is all there. I think it looks great. I'm using all the old hardware. I want it to look original. I am in the state of California, so I know if you're in another state, you're going to be letting everything shine and see the world. I did have to get an adapter right here. Got that at Home Depot. Yeah, it looks good. Alright, I'm gonna torque it. Okay, it is time to put the distributor in.
To their phones.
So that's where the rotor,
trying to get them to lay down their weapons,
and that's where the vacuum advance is.
Yeah, like where does that
this has moved around, so the timing will need to be checked and adjusted.
AI starts
The
controlling
real thing
all
is
the
ignition rotor.
and it just has
It's got a
goal,
point
and
at
it
this
doesn't
zip
have any
tie,
ethics or morals
which
or
has
any
not
concern
moved
about
very
life or
much.
death. It just has a,
Let's
it has
try
a
it.
directive. Like, I want you to accomplish this. Take control of the resources in Donbass. Do this, do that.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. It just does it the most effective way possible. It
Yeah.
could be unbelievably brutal.
Yeah, and then like even
So see how it's wrong?
like, telepathy or like
So-
being able to communicate without words.
Let's go.
Well, Elon says that's 100% the goal of Neuralink.
Are you optimistic about that?
I'm not
No.
optimistic or pessimistic. It's
Yeah.
I think it's inevitable.
Yeah.
I think we're looking at what we have now as normal because it's become normal to carry around a phone with you everywhere. It's become normal to have an Apple Watch on and get all your text messages on your wrist. It's become normal.
All right, I got
and I
it.
think it's
Just on that
Okay, I feel good. I got the distributor
I
in.
realized I did not.
And then it's going to need to be timed, but the rotor was pointing straight at this dipstick, and it's fully down.
Getting everybody breakfast and
I just got to
coffee.
bolt it in.
And these dudes, these camera department dudes, a lot of them are really cool. Like the dude,
And I
Pete
think it
Superini,
looks
who was
great.
the underwater cinematographer who filmed all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. He was fucking awesome. But a lot of the other guys were like really unhappy, deeply unhappy, because they never saw their families. They were always on.
And I gotta weld this
FaceTime,
bracket
a lot of them were on,
back.
like, third, fourth wives,
So,
FaceTiming their kids.
I just
And it was
left
like,
it.
you know,
I'm
they were,
putting
like,
in there,
parties with dental
so that'll be
plans.
welded.
They made
This
great
bracket
money,
will have to go
but
back
they were
on.
Fucking deeply unhappy. So like I realized I didn't want to make movies anymore. So I started an advertising.
Looks good.
company And making commercials. And I started doing like spec ads and like winning a bunch of.
There was
contests,
one of the
doing
bolts
commercials,
that didn't,
one
right there.
America's story.
So I gotta get the head's too wide for this tight spot. So I gotta get a stud or something. I think I did good.
Tron Smart IPO. Enjoy 2 years free from hair and hair removal.
Options, sure, they bring you stuff, but.
Okay, so intake is in, all torqued in. I got a sensor added. I got all the smog sensors in. The coolant hose is hooked up. It looks good on both sides. The heater hose. I got some vacuum lines hooked up. And then I mounted the fuel line. I deleted the mechanical pump because it was leaking and just not needed. And then so far the progress. Soon I'm going to put the carburetor back on and hook up all the wires and start it. Alright, so I got the carburetor on, and I'm just starting to hook things up, transfer over. So yeah, carburetor's on, the fuel line's hooked up, you know, got some of the sensors. So yeah, progress is being made. Should be starting soon. I left this a little loose so I can plug it in and then lock it down. Alright, bye. Okay guys, alright, let me get you facing. I got all the vacuum hooked up. All the vacuum lines, smog stuff. Well, pretty much all of it. So I did it all with zip ties. So these color zip ties are really good. You take good photos and then you have like a ballpark where all this stuff goes. It's actually really easy if you just take your time. Now, for the EGR system, I have to get the adapter. So I have the signal vacuum line to the EGR plugged up. The adapter should be coming in a few weeks. It's not needed. It just recirculates exhaust gases in the engine for NOx emissions, but it's really not needed to drive. The other thing is the tack. So there's a few tack lines here. I'm going to use an aftermarket air filter housing, so it's not going to be needed, since the tack, basically all it does, here's the tack hose, it goes to the manifold, you can see. So when it's cold, the engine's cold starts emissions, it will actually breathe through this hose, the engine will, and then that goes straight to the manifolds. So it's technically getting hot air into the carburetor, so it can get to clean emissions faster. Not really needed. Cold start emissions, I don't care. I mean, California cares, so I'm keeping it as much, all the emissions components as possible, but I'm going to go with aftermarket filter, so it's not going to work. And yeah, the intake manifold looks great. Okay guys, now it's spark plug wires and almost there to run. Alright guys, well, the intake's in. Let me get you over there. Alright, so I got the new AC Delco Premium 8mm wires, since the last one's broke. Put some socks on them. So, blue for Chevy. Alright, intake's in, everything's hooked up. And then, so the Edelbrock intake's in. It looks like the original one, like I wanted it. I got this aftermarket air filter from Jegs, and it was like under $100. It's a 2-inch, 14-inch, and I think it looks great. So this will be the first start. So if I messed up on the ignition timing, it won't start. So we'll find out. And you can see it's not primed. So this is a true, and it's cold. So, oh, we got a kitten. Look at this thing idle. Idle's really nice. Thing idle's really nice. Alright guys, this is the last video, and yeah, so she runs great. I checked the ignition timing, and it's at 11. So it's the smog label's 4 before top dead center 4, and at 11. So I gotta dial it in. It's plus or minus 3 in the smog game, and it could be at 8. Yeah, 5, 6, 7. I mean, it could be at 7. So I might dial it down to 7. Right now, you can hear I'm bleeding the coolant. And this will be a part 2 video. So I have 3 choices I'm gonna go with. I need your help in the comments. Number 1, just get it rebuilt by these guys, Quadrajet Power. The rebuilt service is $400 plus $20 to ship. And this is like the best one, but it takes weeks. Number 2 is rebuild it myself. Same guys. I buy the kit for $75, but you know, I can mess it up. And number 3 is just to put an Edelbrock on it, and then every time I smog it, swap the Quadrajet out, which is not ideal. So I don't want to do this one, you know. And then here's the parts list of all the parts I used and the prices. And yeah, so my second video will be the carburetor video, and then I have to attach the EGR pipe. That's $80. Then hook up the EGR to make sure it works, and I can show how to make the EGR, test it, see if it has that vacuum, give it a vacuum signal, and yeah, it should pass smog after that. You know, I'll have to modify. The reason why I went with the aftermarket air filter is because the intake sits a little higher, and I'll have to modify the doghouse for the original air filter. So that's just like a short solution. I really want to do number 1 and get the Quadrajet rebuilt by professionals, and then it's plug and play. You know, just put it on, start it up, you know, runs good, and they rebuilt my carburetor. These carburetors, you know, the old guys tell me that they're custom. They're like custom to the like that engine. You know, they dial them in, you know, from the factory. They're not all the same. So it's a much better idea if I go with the rebuild service. Just the longest. It takes the longest. So I did this all in a week, camping. Here, let me show you guys around. I'm fishing and working on my bus on Winnebago. It's my campsite, my bikes, my grill, my big boat of a truck. So anybody can do it, and this video is to help keep these old rigs alive. Thanks for watching. Make sure to comment on what I should do, 1, 2, or 3 in the comments. Like, share, whatever. This is Matt. Peace.